Good morning. I'm making this video for two sets of people. Those who live in very cold climates in the United States and those who live in very warm ones. As you can tell from my dress, I am in the former. It's 8:30 in the morning here on Friday, January 7th in St. Paul, Minnesota. And it's a toasty minus 16 degrees Fahrenheit. And I want to send this out to folks who live in cold climes or think they're living in cold climes, like, I don't know, Buffalo, New York, or somewhere in Maine. And yeah, it's cold there. There's no question about it. But it's colder here. You might want to ask why I live here. I'll tell you that in a moment. But here's what happens when you walk out and it's minus 16 at 8:30 in the morning. First of all, my right hand is freezing now from holding this camera. And I'm looking out over, we've had some snow here. Yeah, it's only 3 or 4 inches, which by Minnesota standards for January is no big deal. This is the Mississippi River out here. We'll go down a little closer. Let me see the closest way to get there. We'll go down by the Mississippi. It is actually frozen, which is unusual. It's a fast-flowing river. It starts up here in Minnesota at a place called Itasca. It's a little creek up there, and runs all the way down to New Orleans into the Gulf of Mexico. But it's a very fast-flowing river up here. Now I have to put a pair of gloves on, so pardon me because this is killing my right hand here. So here's how it feels when you walk out at 16 degrees in the morning. First of all, it hurts your throat if you breathe through your mouth for a moment. It's very harsh, and it also burns your nose. But here's some tricks for surviving in the winter. First of all, you have to dress in layers, which I have. You have to walk very carefully because there are patches of snow and ice. And let me send out one particular message. I was thinking of this earlier this week when the news was about all those cars stuck behind a truck accident on I-95 between Washington, D.C. and Richmond, Virginia. There was a fear that people who had run out of gas were frozen because people were stuck there for hours. Oh, by the way, there's still school here. There's a school bus. Where I come from in Washington, D.C., if there's an inch of snow or the temperature drops down to 0, there's no school. Government workers don't go to work. Here, no problem. At any rate, I was thinking of those poor guys stuck in on I-95. And one trick I learned in moving here to Minnesota more than 20 years ago is that you should carry a candle in your car. Apparently, I haven't had the misfortune to have to try it, but apparently having a candle in your car can provide enough heat for the interior of the car to keep you warm. So in my trunk, I have several candles in my car for if I should ever be unlucky enough to get stuck. You see the sun is just coming up here at 8:30 over the horizon there, over the Mississippi River. It's a long walk to get any closer to the Mississippi, so I'm going to have to leave you with what you can see here. The river boats are frozen in, of course, down at the end. Everybody who has private boats is taken out of the water here. No one walks on the Mississippi when it's frozen. Minnesota is known as the land of 10,000 lakes, of course. Those lakes are frozen, and people are out there not only walking there, they drive their cars and their pickup trucks there because they go ice fishing. And they have these shacks, these portable shacks that they set up for the entire winter, and then they bring these big electric drills out, and they drill holes in the ice and go fishing. Some have portable televisions in those shacks. They have heaters. Guys go out, spend the night there. I don't know. One person told me it's a way to get away from family members you're tired of in all this cold. You can survive out here for a while, but you wouldn't want to do it too long. And this is sort of balmy at 16 today because tomorrow, Saturday, January 8th of 2021, it's going to be minus 31. Why do I live here? Well, more than 20 years ago, sorry, I dropped my hat. I was in LA at a dinner party and I sat across from a woman and we were quite taken with each other. And I've often thought about moving out to Southern California. And we were talking and she said, well, I don't exactly live in Southern California. I mean, I don't exactly live in Los Angeles. And I thought, well, how bad could Santa Barbara be? If I could ever date her. And so I said, well, where exactly do you live? And she said, White Bear Lake, Minnesota. I said, that just sounds cold. She said, yeah, it is. And I thought, well, this is not happening. Well, through a variety of circumstances, 6 months later, we reconnected, and I wound up moving to Minnesota, where I've been here for 20 years. Unfortunately, our relationship broke up after 10 years, and I'm still here, and she's living in, last I knew anyway, living in Northern California. It doesn't seem fair, but there you go. At any rate, I said I was sending it out to two audiences. Those folks who live in cold places, but not as cold as here, so they'll feel a little better. And those of you who do live in Southern California, or places like Florida and Miami, so you can feel very superior to us. At any rate, winter is a gorgeous time here, and Minnesotans embrace it. I don't embrace winter. I don't want to go ice fishing. You know, sure, I like skiing and sledding, but I like it in moderation. But this is going to be like this for a couple months. Spring doesn't arrive here till May, and then it ends in end of September. I mean, pools were still open in Washington, D.C. in the end of September where I lived. All right, that's enough griping. I just wanted to let you, those of you who live in the southern climes, feel vaguely superior and certainly luckier weather-wise than I am today at minus 16. And those of you who live in cold climates maybe might feel a little better if it's only 10 degrees where you live. At any rate, here I am. I will try to go to Southern California or go to Florida, anything to sort of mitigate this winter. As you can see from my breath, it's very cold, and I want to stop this video, take off my put on my hat, and go back into my warm home. Meanwhile, I hope winter is treating you kindly where you are. But if you want a real winter, consider coming up to Minnesota. Take care.